Hey guys, welcome back to Choosing Recovery. I'm Olivia.
I'm Scotty.
And today we have an incredible story from Aubrey. So
yes, we do.
Jump into it.
Joe.
There you go. So what was your drug of choices, if you had multiple?
So I definitely had multiple. It started probably like the first time I ever had was like Molly, club drugs, you know, that going to the club, having a good time type of thing. And after that, it went to cocaine, which was like a numerous type of thing. That was a use, not use, not use, back and forth. And then this last time around, it was actually replaced with Adderall, which then switched back to cocaine.
Nah.
Yep. That'll happen. So what age did you start using any substance?
So I started smoking weed probably when I was like 12 or 13 years old. And then I kind of drank a little bit here and there, like probably 13, 14, 15. It really wasn't until I was about like 19, 20, 21 that I had started experimenting with like Molly and ecstasy and little bits of here and there. My cocaine habit really started, I want to say, at like 23, and it got pretty out of control on and off from 23 up until about 60 days ago.
Yeah.
So almost every single interview we've done, 12 and 13 years old have been the starting point for at least something for almost every single one of them. So it is like for me too, like that's around when I started also for like experimenting with things. It's really that gateway time, you know, like for
we do a lot of research for it, like just addiction in general. I think it's very important to have the research behind it, and they did a study for like 25 years and the average age was 13. And I'm like, and we like every time we're interviewing people, they're like, yeah, 12, 13, and I'm like, oh my god. Like that's really the age.
That age range where you start to get that little bit more freedom from
Yeah.
your parents about not checking up on you as much, you know, and like you just hang out with the wrong people one time, and next thing you know, it's all downhill from there.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So how long have you used for?
So I mean, it definitely was a good, like, say, like, we start, like, with when I started smoking weed up until this last time, probably about 15 years, so about 12 to 27. I just turned 27 in July, and I had just stopped using within the last 60 days, so it's been
Well, congratulations. Congratulations.
Proud of you. That's awesome.
It is. So who did your addiction affect?
Oh, God. Myself, for sure. My mental health, all that stuff. But more about my family, for sure. I mean, in the beginning of all of this, I was young. I was living on my own. I was 19 at my first apartment. So, like, they didn't really know what was going on. They kind of just looked at it, oh, she's a teenager. She's just having fun. Like, she'll make it through this. And it really wasn't until I was about 23, 24 that it really started to affect my family, my place of work, you know, like my friends. People started noticing, like, holy shit, you're losing a ton of weight, like, you're really skinny, you're not working as much, you're constantly calling out of work. So it really, really definitely affected, like, my family and my coworkers, for sure.
We really recommend all family members out there that watch our videos, please get educated on addiction. You know, get educated on the disease of addiction, because, you know, like you said, like when you're kids or teenagers, they think you're out having fun because they did it too. You know, it's 2020, shit's different nowadays. You know, people aren't out there smoking weed or like doing acid or anything like that. They're out there doing heroin at 14 years old and things like that. People are dying of overdoses at 14 years old, even younger, you know. So it's a lot different, and people aren't educated. You know, times are different. Times are way different now than they were back then.
And like even for myself, I really thought I was gonna grow out of it too. Like at some point, I was just gonna like grow up one day. What led you to get clean?
Well, so this last time, to be totally honest with you, I got caught. I got straight up caught. I started selling Adderall when I was like sober.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck it, I'm not doing it. Just make some money. College kids are stupid. They'll pay a ton of money for dumb things. So, I'll be totally honest. And I started then myself, like, getting into it a little bit more. Like, more like, oh, I little bit, just kind of slowly get into that. And I went camping with my family one weekend, and I had a whole bag of pills in my backpack, which I thought I left at home, and I didn't. And I guess I dropped a few on the floor in the camper. So, Dad, probably about 2 weeks after that, that's when I started getting back into coke. My dad found them and he confronted me. He was like, I need to talk to you. Can you meet me somewhere? So I met up with him and he pulled out the bag and he picked up the pills on the floor and he basically was like, what the hell is this? And I was like,
Yeah.
There's nothing I was caught. I was caught, and it was right then and there that I was like, this is my one chance to be honest with my family and just tell them the truth. So I just laid it out there, I kind of told him the truth, but not everything, just what I thought would make things kind of go away. It really wasn't until they had kind of reached out to somebody that I went to meetings with and told them what was going on, kind of behind my back.
Oh wow!
Guys, so my parents had kind of given me, my dad and his wife had kind of given me a choice. They were like, listen, we've been doing this with you for so long, and I can't watch you do this. You're 27 years old. You're getting way too old for this stuff. You got to figure it out. So I was sitting at a meeting, and I just kind of confessed to the whole group what was going on, and my step was like, I'll get dressed right now, and I'll bring you to the hospital, and we'll get this figured out. And I just wasn't willing to lose my family.
Yeah.
They weren't as involved, but I'm really close with them, and I have a really, really high level of respect for my stepmom. So when she was willing to, get dressed at 9 o'clock at night and bring me wherever I needed to go, I was like, this is it. This is my last chance to get shit right. And I promised myself if I ever ended up in detox, that would be enough of a rock bottom for me to not ever use again.
And it doesn't have to go farther than that, and you're proof of that.
They have been the biggest support throughout all of this. When I went away to rehab and stuff, they cleaned out my house, anything alcohol, pills, anything they found in here, they just gave me a whole fresh start. They dropped me off there. They dropped me off to the hospital. My stepmom, my dad came up and dropped off clothes and makeup and books and just all types of stuff. And they were so awesome. And I spoke to my stepmom every day on the phone. I talked to my mom, my best friend, the whole time I was there. And they basically were like, listen, we're so proud of you. I know you're a little upset about what you're going through, but this is such a big thing. We're so proud of you. This is going to be a huge change in your life. And just in this short amount of time, everyone's like, you are a totally different person.
Yeah. And that's where families need to support their children when they're in the process of getting clean,
And it's those step parents, because my stepdad, I'm telling you what, he was my ride or die man. He changed my life. That's awesome. So, what's your biggest accomplishment in your recovery?
So far, I would have to say regaining my financial stability. For sure.
That's a new one. I like that.
My bank account, and it's not negative.
Yeah.
Financial stability, my mental health is better than it's ever been. Going into detox, it was a dual diagnosis. So not only was it my addiction, I got my mental health in check.
Good for you.
My gaining my family back, that I'm not lying to anybody, I'm not anymore. I can be that 100% true, honest person that I am, and that people know that I am, and not have to, I'm not sneaking around, I'm not doing shit. I just can be I just feel free, and I think that's really the big accomplishment is gaining that freedom back and gaining that ability to just take a deep breath and be like, wow, I'm clean, I'm sober, my life is going good. That's my free again, for sure.
I love that. Awesome. So how are you staying clean today?
So right now, I have a great support system, like we were saying. I have awesome friends and family. I'm still currently in IOP. This is actually my last week, so I'm
good for you.
My last day, so that's that's been a huge help. I never did any real programs beforehand. I was just like, I'll get clean on my own terms, doing it the way that it's meant to be. So I have that. It's been huge. I've met some great people through that.
Awesome.
I found this awesome meeting, as a matter of fact, on TikTok. And I do that every Wednesday and Friday nights. I absolutely love it. It's people all across the country.
That's amazing.
An all recovery meeting, which is great. And it's all people around my age and a little bit older, which is huge. It's created such a big support system. Even my days where I'm just feeling shitty, I know who I can reach out to. And phone number. TikToks and Instagrams and Facebooks and stuff. It's what's keeping me clean is that community, you know,
Absolutely.
like between friends, other addicts, you know, people who really are encouraging me to stay clean. And it's like have that big circle. Like I don't want to say it's people depending on you, but it kind of is. You know, it's like shit. Like I don't want to slip up because then I have to tell these 50 people that I messed up, and I don't want to have to do that.
Yeah.
So it brings that little bit more like encouragement to like keep you going. You know, it's
Absolutely.
the community keeps me going for sure.
Awesome.
That is amazing. I think it's incredible to see like just what an impact we all have. And Scott always says it, like we have the same message, just a different story, you know, and I think that's incredible that people are putting themselves out there and being vulnerable.
Yeah.
You know, like that's incredible. That's strength. It's bravery. It's so many things. I think it's great too.
And you're putting so many things in between you and your addiction, you know, the support system, the meetings, the family, things that you know that you can actually reach back to before the thought of even going out to use pops up in your head. You know, so
I watched this documentary on Netflix called it's something about courage. It's from Brene Brown. And she basically talks about how vulnerability and courage go hand in hand. And after watching that, I was like, no shit. Like, coming forward with my being able to tell the world, like, hey, I was a drug addict. I'm not a drug addict, and you don't have to be a drug addict either.
Yeah.
Like, it's awesome. It's a great way to feel for sure.
Awesome.
Absolutely. So if you could say something to somebody that is still out there actively using, what would you say to them?
Oh man, just tell them it's not worth it. You know, like this nowadays, it's not just going out and partying on the weekend. It's not just having a few nights or 2 nights on the weekend to go out to the club and do something stupid. Like everything is laced. Every single thing is laced. Like everything. Like I took my drug test after doing cocaine and it had opiates and fentanyl in it when I went to the hospital.
Yeah.
That was the scariest that's ever happened to me.
Yeah, that's
So it's
very
like,
scary.
I think they can just go out and have fun. It's not fun anymore. There's no fun. There's no nothing. You're taking a chance on your life.
Absolutely.
Like,
So dangerous.
Every time you try to do something, that you could die.
Yeah.
And me, honestly, like dying is just not where I'm at. And if I could just tell them, like, listen, you don't know what you're putting in your body, and if you don't want to die, this is where it's got to end. It's just got to stop. And find somebody. If there's one person, 10 people, 100 people, find one person you can talk to about it and get clean. Do what you need to do, no matter what.
Absolutely. That's awesome advice.
Yes. So if you could say something to a family member of somebody that's struggling within addiction, what would you say to the family member?
Get involved. Get involved. Pay attention. I know it sucks, but watch those stupid TED Talks. Read some books, like something. Like I sent my family so much stuff, and they've been willing to read it. And it's like not because they want to, but because they know it's gonna help me. You know, like try to just understand where somebody's coming from. Like I know not everybody struggles with addiction, and you may not get like why can't you just stop? But if you take the time to do some research and really just sit down with that person, have a conversation, try to figure out where it started, what triggers them, what could help them. Like just be a part of their recovery, and don't do it when it's convenient for you. Either be there or don't be there, but be consistent and be 100% with them if you're going to be, for sure.
That's so powerful.
That is.
I love everything you just said. Absolutely. Better you either be involved or don't be involved at all.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah,
That's empowering.
Do it. Either do it or don't, but don't choose when you want to be a part of somebody's recovery. If you care about that person, be in it 100%. I mean, my biggest thing that I definitely want to like get out there is like, you know, when I had an ex-boyfriend who passed away from fentanyl-laced cocaine, and in the beginning it really kind of messed me up. You know, like I'm like, oh my god, I'll never use again. I can't even believe this. And it really wasn't until like my depression started getting really bad, and using was what I thought was going to just make it better. You know, throw some uppers in there and maybe nobody will know I'm depressed. So it's like I really kind of let my mental health get the best of me and went back to shit that I didn't want to do. You know, it happened and it was stupid and I beat myself up after it, but I kind of had to put the bat down and realize that like people make mistakes, and as long as I don't keep going back to that life, this life is just so much better. You know, being clean, sober. You know, there are people out there that can drink in moderation and party in moderation and do their thing, and that's on them. But if you're an addict and you know you're an addict, don't try to act like everybody else. Yeah. We're not normal. There's a whole group of us that are all types of messed up, and we understand each other. And it's been a really different experience for me this time around and it just feels different, you know.
Good for you.
I support people, but I feel good about myself. Like, I feel like I'm my own support system sometimes too, and that's another huge. Gain your confidence back while you're doing this. Like, I mean, I feel so good. I get up in the morning, like, I don't think I'm fabulous, you know, like, just because I feel good about me, and
I love
it's awesome. People to, like, especially when I feel like online, like when I'm posting in like my TikTok, my Instagram, my Facebook and stuff, like posting that stuff and having people reach out to me, like, little do they know that helps my recovery just as much as it helps them. Like, posting, if I have one person that just messages me and is like, oh, your post was amazing, like, it really made me feel good, that helps me.
Yeah.
Because that's one more person that I can reach out to, and then that person reaches out to somebody else, and it's this chain effect, and it's honestly just, it's beautiful. Like, recovery community is amazing.
Yes,
as long as you're reap the benefits of it. It really is just, it's worth it to be clean. It's worth it to not use it. It's worth it to not die.
Yeah, absolutely. Mental health is definitely, I think it's just such a big part of recovery, man. Like, really understanding yourself, really getting down to the nitty gritty, like, to see who you are as a person. And I think mental health is a big awareness for my recovery, at least, to definitely be aware of that part.
Don't get clean from people.
Absolutely.
Your husband, whatever it is. Do not do it. Oh, well, I'm getting clean for this person. No. That's not how it's supposed to. You're not. You're setting yourself up for failure, because if you're not wanting it for yourself alone, you're just automatically setting yourself up for failure. It's got to be about you, and like, people are like, oh, it's a little selfish. No, I have to be selfish right now. This is my life.
Yeah.
Not just little things. Like, I'm not like, yeah, if I lose my house, I have somewhere to go. If I lose my job, I have a new job. If I lose my life, that's it. There's no more to me. There's nothing else. There's nothing else for me to worry about if I'm dead.
Absolutely. And everyone deserves a good life. They deserve the shot of recovery, and it's too bad not too many people can get that opportunity. So if people get it, run with it. You know, it really is life or death. And like you said, it is so dangerous out there right now. Not only like the drugs themselves, but the lifestyle, man. That shit can get nuts. So it's definitely like sharing your story and stuff is just so inspiring to so many people. Like, one of the people that we interviewed, they said something about like research, like looking for stuff like this when they were in active use. And I was like, could you imagine just getting this out there at the right time? You know, and having somebody come across these videos and say, whoa, like, they're saying everything that I went through, you know, and that's the hope, that's the strength.
Well, when I got those results back from that drug test, I don't think there's anything in this world that scared me as much as reading that on that piece of paper. I must have sat there like this for like 20 minutes in the hospital, like, just in awe as to what was going on. Like, and that was from doing cocaine twice.
Wow.
2 times. I had used Adderall the whole 6 months, like, well, not 6 months, 3 months that I was using, and I had done cocaine twice, and that's what came up. 2 times. And
yeah, that's scary.
Like, and knowing that, like, my life was on the line, like, that could have happened. And when I got out of detox, I told people, like, people that I was partying with, I'm like, listen, here's the results of my drug test. What do you think the next time? And I mean, I do still talk to a lot of those people, and a lot of those people, I think, were very scared from what happened to me. And you want to know what? Honestly, it was a blessing in disguise, which sounds insane, but it got me into a detox, and it got me into what I needed to do, because a lot of the times in detox, they're like, oh, cocaine's not addictive, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I'm so sick of hearing that shit, because it's not just cocaine anymore. There's like fentanyl and all this other stuff. So it becomes like highly addictive. So if that wasn't in my system, I don't know if I would have landed where I was. I don't know if I would have been in the detox I was and met the people I did. So, you know, everything happens for a reason, and I'm I'm not happy that I did what I did, but I'm blessed to be where I'm at now because of it, for sure.
Good for
That's
you.
yes, awesome.
We're glad you're here with us today.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Me too. If anyone who's struggling, anyone who's like just going through it, just reach out, you know,
Yes.
find some, there's gotta be one person out there that loves you and wants to be there for you and knows what you're going through and will be there. And if not, you know, find somebody, go online, you know, like, and I hate to even bring it up, but TikTok's got this whole giant recovery.
Yes.
It's amazing.
It's amazing. It's so beautiful, and I didn't even know this side of it. But
Me
there
either.
are thousands of people on there, and you have everybody and their mother has a TikTok right now. So if you type in sober, you'll find about at least 50 people right off the bat that you can reach out to. Even if it's a stranger, just be like, hey, listen, I need to talk.
Yes.
My phone's always on. My messages are always open. I am available to anyone. And I don't want ever feel like they have to go without. So reach out, whether it's me, whether it's one of you guys, or whether it's anybody else. Just don't be afraid to reach out and don't be afraid to get help. Some
Yes.
people get embarrassed or feel, you know, insecure or they feel weak. And there's nothing about it. The weakness is in the addiction. It takes vulnerability and courage to be clean and sober. And you know what? Be
Absolutely.
vulnerable and be freaking courageous and get clean and do what you gotta do. Like, reach out. Anybody, just reach out. Always, always, always reach out.
Save your life. Absolutely.
One last thing.
Won't change your entire life.
Absolutely.
My first name is Aubrey. My clean date is 9/30/2020.
Yep.
Hopefully this is the last time I have to change that date, because that's about the fourth time. So that'll be my last clean date. And one thing I'm grateful for, I'm grateful for life today.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for freedom, and I'm grateful to be sober. That's 100% sure.